Okay, so we've got the front end, or most of the front end on the car now. The newly primed fenders and front panel and the other fender. They're just loosely bolted on. Nothing's tight here. So I gotta let them cure for, like I said, Eastwood said 2 or 3 days before you can start doing any kind of body work on them. So I'm going to move on to the rest of the car. This has been sitting probably 3 or 4 days now. And I gotta start doing the body work on this. This is the worst of it right here, this rear quarter that my dad installed a long time ago. So first thing I gotta do is I gotta rough up everywhere that I'm going to put down some body filler. Got to rough it up with 80 grit because the filler depends on, you know, mechanical adhesion to hold on to the body. So you got to give it an 80 grit scratch to hold on to. So I got quite a bit of work to do on this car. This is the worst of it here. There's a little bit right here. There's a seam there. Small dent on the roof there. And that's probably what I'll be working on today. The other side of the rear deck lid, it looks good. I don't really see anything on that. This side really looks good. There's just some minor dings here and there. Some rust repair down there, it's going to have to be done. And same with over here. And then again, there's that seam right there. It's got to be filled in. So we're going to start out with this side. Like I said, I got to sand it. We're going to be using the short-haired fiberglass filler for to start out with on all these seams, welding seams. Okay, so we're going to be using this short strand reinforced fiberglass for the seams of all the rust repair, all the welded seams. You want to put this on first before you do the other stuff because this stuff is stronger. It is waterproof too, so if you do have some pinholes yet in your welding, that you'll be good there. So it's always a good idea to start out with this. Most of this is going to be sanded off, and then you go over that with the nicer, smoother filler. So I'm going to start out with this stuff. So here's where I'm at right now. I've laid down my short strand fiberglass along the weld on this whole patch that Dad did. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go back with the regular filler, go over top of that. Basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go from this body line all the way down to that body line with filler to get this panel straight again. The whole reason Dad put this patch underneath this body line and didn't go up above it, because it's going to be a whole lot easier to smooth this out staying under that body line. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to do a little work on this while I'm here. But right now I'm just concentrating on this because this is a major piece of the body work on this car. So I'm just going to concentrate on this right now. And I'll move on after I get this where I want it. So I'm going to mix up some filler for this body panel. I like to take a paint stick and stir up the filler really good in here. I've already been working with it, so I've got it stirred up. But I just take it and get a bunch on my stick here. I can only work with so much. I know some guys can mix up like a whole bunch, but I only work with so much, and then I'll mix up another one. You're going to take your hardener, I think I got too much for this mixing pad here. Just want to mix it up till it's an even color. Sometimes you got blue hardeners, sometimes there's different colors. This one's red, so you want to kind of like a pinkish color. And you can't play with this too long because it's going to start getting hard. So there's my first layer. I'm sure there'll be many more layers going on here, but this is my first layer. I'm going to go take a break, 20-30 minutes or so, let this get hard, and we'll be back sanding. Okay, so here's what I have after all day yesterday applying filler and sanding it down. I'm pretty happy with what I got here. This is going to be just epoxied over that, and then probably going to spray some fill-in primer, and then we'll do the guide coat and we'll sand it down. We are not looking for perfection on this car. This is just a driver. We're not looking for perfect gaps. We're not looking for absolutely perfect panel alignment. I mean, we want it to look good, but we are not after perfection here. And perfection is really hard to achieve. You got to have a lot of money and a lot of time. We don't have either of those, so we're going to do a nice driver here. I'm happy with what I got here. I'm going to continue around the car now. I got to go do the other side of the roof there. There are a few dings, but this side is nowhere near going to be as bad as that side because Dad didn't do a quarter here. He just did a patch here and a patch there. So this side is going to move along much faster. And then I think there's a little bit of ding there, and then I got to do that bottom panel, which that's going to be a little bit of a pain too because that's been damaged. So the deck lid is, I didn't see anything on that, so we're good to go there. So that's where I'm at now, guys. I'm going to keep on going. Let's see what else I can get done. Okay, so I've been working away at the car here. You can see I've been working on this side, and I'm pretty happy with what I got over here. You can see the body filler that's been sanded off. I've put a lot of body filler on this thing, but most of it's been sanded off, so that's exactly what you want. You don't want a bunch of body filler stuck on there. This is very thin. This is not very thick at all. You can see some of the panel coming through there. So it is not very thick at all. Like I said, I'm happy with this side. Done up there too. So now I'm going on to my rear panel back here. And once I get that, it'll be just little detail things going around the car. I got to sand it all up to get it ready for another coat of epoxy, because I think it's past the 5 days. Once you go past 5 days on the epoxy, you got to scuff it before you can shoot it again. So that's what I'll be doing. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be looking for little imperfections and just doing little detail work on all the panels. So that's where I'm at now, guys. I don't think you want to watch me do some sanding, because that's all I'm doing. I'm putting body filler on and sanding, putting body filler on, sanding. So nothing exciting is really happening. So I don't feel like you need to watch me sand. So I'm going to keep on going, and I'll be back for an update. So I run out of sheets on that one mixing board that I used to have. I used to have the sheet, and you tear it off. You have a new sheet, tear it off. Run out of sheets, so I took this piece of aluminum we had, and actually it fits my hand really good, so I can hold it. And it's just a piece of aluminum. I just cleaned up all the edges and sanded off this surface. And actually, I think I like this better than the paper one. I can, hold it just as well. Fits in my hand. And I can, if this gets too much buildup, all I gotta do is sand it off. So really no big deal here. I've mixed a lot of filler on this right now, and it's just got a little bit of leftovers on it. So just take an 80 grit probably or something and sand it off, and I'll be good. I don't know if I'm going to get another paper one, because I really like this board that I made here. So I'm happy with that. So we're getting closer here on this rear panel. It is really getting boring sanding, block sanding this filler. But I think one more round here on this back piece, and we're gonna have her. You can see there was a seam there. Me and Dad decided we'd just take that out. So here's what I've got. Now both sides there. Like I said, I think one more round of sanding and we're gonna have her. It is not very thick on there. I know I've mixed a lot of filler up and I stuck it on the car, but you can see it's all pretty much on the ground, and I've already done a vacuum and it was thick. So most of it's ending up on the floor. So I'm gonna get this done, get this sanded out here, and I just got a little detail stuff left to do. And yeah, we're getting closer here to being done with this filler work. The major filler work anyway. So I'm finally done with this rear panel. As good as it's gonna get right now. So moving on to kind of little details here. I've got to do a little bit of work here in my deal. Also have a little bit of work to do on the rockers, and a little bit of work here. So I'll be going around the car now working on all the little details to be able to spray this in epoxy again. And yeah, keep on going, see what else I can get done. I also picked up these Durablocks. Actually, Dad got them for me. The Durablock. And this is a kit. And it's got a bunch of the blocks in here. You got some round ones, you got some small ones. They also sent some of their soap. and then you got a smaller block like this. I've been using these two longer ones that come with the kit. You can see they're completely covered in Bondo dust. But this is what I've been using, and I really like these guys, really like them. They really allow me to shape the Bondo really good, so because they're nice and flat. I've been using some other stuff that we had, and it's got a little bit of a cushy pad, and I was kind of struggling to get all the stuff straight, but once I started using these, it really helped. So I guess I would recommend the Durablocks because I'm really enjoying them.
T-shirts and our typical